Welcome
to the
Red Couch. You know, there's nothing I'd rather do in the whole world than sit here on this red couch, next to Sharalee,
me.
and talk about the things of the Lord.
Amen.
And I want to give you a little rundown of what's going on in our lives. We're feeling better. The last time we came on, there must have been something about that video that was special. I don't know what. We had
A lot of people watching.
thousands of views all over the world. I mean, people watching this thing from, I don't know how they even know about it. But
God's whispering in their ears.
he must be. He must be waking them up at night and saying, Red Couch.
The Red Couch Live. Yep.
Anyway.
But we're glad. Thank you.
Thank
you so much.
So anyway, we're feeling better.
Still a little weak.
Yeah, we're pretty weak. You know, people say it takes like a month to finally get rid of it.
Yeah, just
Man,
to
let me
get
tell you
back to
something.
feeling yourself.
I
I
see
talked to a friend today, and I asked him how long it took he and his wife to feel better. And he said,
We still don't feel better.
we still don't feel better.
He's
It's
down.
a month.
His name's Duke. He's down feeding people. He's got a feeding ministry. He goes down where there's disasters
He's in Louisiana right
and
now.
does barbecue stuff. And
Yeah.
he's down there feeding people in Louisiana
God bless you,
that
dude.
got messed up by the hurricane. So, you know. Anyway, shout out to Amos Benefield Jr.
Amos.
I heard your message on the video the other night, and I was highly encouraged.
Amen.
So that's good. We're going to see you soon. But you know, the funny thing is,
What
and
hat have you got on?
I'm not telling. It's a very special hat. It's green.
With
Like,
a big B.
it's green as Kermit the Frog.
With a big red B.
It's not easy being green.
Who is it?
The big red B on the big green
You
hat.
Let us know.
You might know what it is, what it represents. If
Remember,
you do,
you get a trip to Waffle House.
you get a free trip to Waffle House.
Yeah.
Just if you win the trivia, just call up and don't even
Yeah,
call.
we'll
Send a message, please.
We'll
don't
figure
call.
out. Send you a gift card.
Here's the deal. If you think you know the answer, call me anytime during the day. Now, if you think you know the answer late at night, call Sharalee. Wake her up. I'm still coronavirus.
I know. But we're still tonic watering.
Yeah, you got to have tonic.
Alan has changed his, though. He's got cranberry
Juice and tonic.
with his tonic. He
Yeah.
says it's his new drink of choice. Cranberry juice and tonic.
Actually, I have never in my life had a drink with tonic in it. Never. And so, you know, my grandpa used to drink gin and tonic until it killed him. So, I
Must have been the worms.
well, he ate.
There's no worms in gin.
He drank a
I guess.
pitcher
I don't
a
know
night.
anything about
He
gin.
drank a whole pitcher a night for 40 years. Anyway,
I love tonic water. Oh.
so the tonic water, it's actually pretty good. It's got the quinine in it, which helps because we had the hydroxychloroquine.
Ooh, you said it so well.
You know,
Wow.
yeah, there was a guy on Fox News and he's walking around with like a walking billboard kind of thing. Had a flat board on him, and he was an older guy. Looked like he's about 80 years old. And he had a big sign that said, hydroxychloroquine works. Give up on the lies and the falsehoods. It works.
Well, there you go.
So it certainly worked with us. I mean,
Yeah.
we've already gone through all that.
Yeah, we're not going to.
I'm not talking about it anymore. But
Round 2 of the last show.
no, but the funny thing was, that must have been a special video because we had tons and tons and tons of people watch it. In fact, it's the most watched video we've done yet. And we didn't do anything but tell people we're sick as dogs.
And that we were getting better.
We're trying to,
Yep.
you know, so.
To God be the glory. That's all I've got to say.
Amen.
I'm just so grateful that we have a God who is a healing, restorative God.
Here's the thing. Let's talk politics.
Oh,
Now, yeah, look.
the P word.
No, I never want to talk politics. I
know you
don't.
don't.
I don't like it.
I know you
You know,
don't.
well, you know, I've read the Bible and I don't see any place in the Bible where Jesus goes to Rome and gets Caesar by the hair of the head and starts saying, do this and do that. I don't like what's going on down there in Judea.
He does not.
He stayed out of it.
He even said, render to Caesar
What is?
what is Caesar. So,
And to God, what is?
God.
So he basically stayed out of it. You know, the whole premise about the Judas deal was that Judas was upset because Jesus wasn't moving fast enough in a political realm, and he tried to force his hand by being stupid. So
How do you feel about it?
he was really stupid. Can you imagine?
No, I cannot.
How'd you like to be the one that betrayed Christ?
Oh, no. Let me tell you something.
And they're all sitting there at the dinner, and he says, well, one's going to betray me. One's got a devil. And they're all going,
Is it me?
Is it me, Lord? Am I going to betray you?
Can you imagine what it felt like when he said, to the one that I dip this bread and hand it to, that's the one. Ooh.
Pretty pitiful.
My goodness.
That's pretty pitiful.
That was very serious.
But you know, the testament to Christ on that whole deal, well, I mean, what? Come on. Jesus knew he was going to betray him. He even gave him the money bag.
Yeah.
And guess what? Jesus says, come on.
And knew he was a thief.
And
Knew he
Jesus,
was a thief.
and Jesus, and at the last minute, Jesus said, whatever it is you're going to do it quickly, because
Yeah.
You know, what if Judas would have turned around and said,
I changed my mind.
I changed my mind, I ain't doing it.
Oh, well, I guess we will.
Well, his guts wouldn't be spilled from here to the Sinai, you know. So anyway.
And the whole crucifixion would have had to have happened a different way. You know, God's plan is God's plan.
Listen.
And you can't change it.
Listen, Peter, right? Peter. I love Peter. He's probably my favorite character in the Bible. I mean, Paul was Paul and this and that, but Peter was Peter, you know. And everybody gave him a hard time, you know. But the thing is, he walked away from Jesus. I don't know him. No, I don't know him. What do you mean I don't know him?
And then he swore that he didn't know him.
Now, here's the deal. We all say, well, I'd never do that. I'd never do that. I'd never walk away from Jesus. Never, read my lips, like Bush said. Never do it. Well, define walking away from Jesus.
Exactly.
It's not just so much denying him in front of everybody. He was just scared when he did it. You know, I'll die with you, Lord. Oh, yeah, right. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But the point is, he basically walked away from him.
He did.
Now, Sharalee wants to talk politics, so we're going to do it. I don't really want to talk politics because you know what? Here's me. I think God's in control. His will's going to be done, and I don't really care. And people say, "Oh, you do too care. You got to care." No, I really don't. I mean, I got people writing us and talking about how great Biden is, how great Kamala Harris is, how wonderful they are, how they're going to do this. How maybe they are wonderful. I mean, he's a happy old, not grumpy grandpa, so he's probably a great guy, you know? And he's got some good points. Not everybody's got all bad points. He's got some good points. I mean, he wants to do this for some people. You know, he wants to make everybody who's an illegal a citizen.
Well, one thing for sure we know.
Did you just cut me off?
I did, because I really want to say this. One thing for sure that I know.
Did she just cut me off? You saw that, right? Write her right now. Stop cutting Alan off.
Well, I'm going to say this anyway. There's one thing I know about Joe Biden. He's not a quitter. He has tried to be president for a long time, for many, many different times over the last 50 years. And by God, he's going to do it one more time.
Well, here's the thing, okay? I mean, if you love Biden, you love Biden. That's your bizwax. And
It's America.
You can answer to Jesus if that's your guy. I mean, he wants to make everybody who's illegal legal. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. I mean, he says he's got all this stuff he's going to do for the average worker. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. You know, he's going to do this. He's going to do that. All these people, they're not all bad. They've got some good things they want to do. You can't just throw the baby out with the bathwater.
That's true.
I mean, but it's the same thing with Trump. I mean, Trump does not, half the stuff Trump does, I don't like it. I don't like the way he carries on. I don't like his narcissism. I don't like, even though I think he's done some really, really, really good things for the country, for the economy, for everybody. His problem isn't what he does, it's how he does it. He's the only guy in the world I know that can drop unemployment down to nothing. Black and female unemployment down to nothing. The stock market's better than ever. Everything's going great guns, new jobs, new factories, everything's fabulous, and everybody still hates him. So I don't. So here's the thing. I don't care about all that. There's things about Trump I don't like. There's things about Trump I'm crazy about. You know, if I had a choice, I would be a Trump person. Not because it's Trump. I was a Bush person when it was Bush. I was you name it. And the reason is because of the abortion issue. Now, as Christians, we disagree on a lot of stuff. We disagree on Well, let's make a list.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, we disagree on, some people think that you can be Christian or be gay and everything's fine. Other people think that's crazy. Some people think whatever. But there's one issue that we ought to all be able to agree on. Without any hesitation or mental reservation, there's one issue in this world today that we all, as Christians, should be able to agree on. Now, this is my opinion. I'm saying we should be able to agree. And if you don't agree, you don't agree. And a lot of you don't. Because there's millions and millions and millions of people here in about 2 months. They're going to go to the polls and they're going to vote for candidates that want to kill babies. And they'll sit there and call themselves Christians and they'll justify it till Jesus comes. Well, it's not a woman. It's not a baby. It's a choice. Women have the right. One thing we ought to be able to agree on as Christians, without a doubt, is the abortion issue. Whether you love Kamala Harris or you don't like Kamala Harris. Whether you love Mike Pence or you don't like Mike Pence. Go all down the list on all these candidates. Whether you're gung-ho for Pelosi. You know, as a matter of fact, most people know this by now, but you know that if they have the election and there's a contested election, they can't decide who won. They fight. Kind of like they did with Bush Gore about the hanging chads and all that stuff. But if they fight, and can't come up with an answer, a solution, a true winner, then on the 20th of January, Nancy Pelosi becomes President of the United States.
Think about that.
Now, here's the deal.
OMG.
Whether you like her or whether you don't like her, whether you agree with her or whether you don't agree with her. I've had people write our website. They're just gung-ho about Pelosi. They think she hung the moon, you know? But here's the thing. As Christians, we cannot walk away from Jesus.
No, we cannot.
See, that's what Peter did. See ya. I don't know him. I'm louder because the microphone's on my end of this recording device.
Oh.
So I'm always louder than you. Oh, but you're not.
You're always
louder.
louder.
I'm not louder than you when you cut me off. You're really loud when you do that.
You're really loud, though.
No, but seriously, he walks away from him. He says, forget it, pal. What we have to do. Now, he eventually got forgiveness.
And became a phenomenal representative of Jesus.
But you know what? That's the way it is. I mean, he said, when you're converted, when you're converted, look, the point of the matter is we as Christians can't walk away from God. And I feel that if we just walk away from this abortion issue and act like it's, oh, well, it's no big deal, forget it. As long as I get my check, I don't care how many babies are killed. You know, the bottom line is we have got to sit there as Christians and face the Lord and say, wait a minute. We're not going to walk away from this issue. We're not going to walk away from these babies who you've created, and they're killing them so fast they can't even find the body parts. You know, I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
We said this to you one other time, that it's not about a person or people, about voting for the person or the people. No. It's the ideology.
That's right.
That goes behind the entire group that they represent.
Listen, I'm pretty radical, but I'm on quinine. But the bottom line is, I love the Lord with all my heart, and I will tell you right now that this preacher is not going to walk away from this situation.
No.
I am never in my lifetime, even if I think they're great, you know, happy little grandpas and all that, even if they've done great things, even if they've got great ideas, even if they're going to give everybody a check, you know, slavery reparations and all the stuff they want to do, that's fine. If that's all they want to do, let them do it. But the whole deal with this abortion thing is something we cannot walk away from. If we cannot speak for those who cannot stand up for themselves, if we can't say, look,
we're not going to allow ourselves to watch as they are led away to slaughter.
Well, the bottom line is, you know, people say, well, you know, you're not a woman and you don't understand and they're in trouble. And
I'm a woman and that's how I believe.
Well, you know, I think we have to start somewhere. And if we can't completely eradicate it, then surely we shouldn't have to pay for it.
Oh, my goodness, no.
I mean, if they can't, I mean, why should the government pay for babies getting killed? I mean, it's ridiculous. And the things you hear about Planned Parenthood are so heinous. You say to yourself, oh my gosh, how in the world can people support that nonsense? I mean, I just think about my children when they were born. I think about Sharalee's kids when they were born. Of course, her daughter, I dropped her on her head when she was... She's about 3 months old. I dropped her on her head. No, just kidding. But I think I think about these babies when they came and how I just can't even imagine killing one of them.
I know.
I mean, it's just so crazy.
You know, God said in Jeremiah, I knew you. Before you were formed in the womb, I knew you. You know what I told Alan when we got together as a couple?
She said, you are such a good-looking guy. I can't believe it. She says, where have you been on my life? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Did you just cut me off?
I cut you off, baby. Well,
See?
I only cut somebody off for the truth. I mean, if it was the truth, I cut her off.
And then I said, you know what's the most important thing to me? Do you remember what I said?
To be known, yeah.
Yes.
And I still don't know how she takes her coffee. You know,
No,
but
I want it to be known. God says, I knew you, Jeremiah, before you were ever formed in the womb. Before conception. When does life begin? It begins in God. It begins in God. Jeremiah was called. You know what? You're not here by accident. No one is here by accident. I don't care how you came into this world. Every single life is here on purpose, for a purpose.
so here's the thing, okay? I'll make a bold statement. You want to hear a bold statement? Okay.
I'm used to them.
I mean, self-expression has never been one of my problems.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay,
It's of yours.
Yeah. Here's the deal, okay? There's probably nothing that you or me individually can do about it because we're just little people. We can pray about it. We can seek the Lord about it. And we really can't do much about the decisions that people make about their own body and what they're going to do. You know, you can put down Planned Parenthood all you want, tell them they're baby killers or this or that, but the bottom line is there's a couple 100,000 young girls this year that are going to want to get an abortion because they feel trapped, they feel whatever, and they don't feel like they have any way out. And all this stuff about rape and incest, that's true, and that's, you know, I understand that. But for every baby that's aborted for rape or incest, they kill 1 million of them for birth control. So I personally don't understand how you can call yourself a Christian and support candidates that want to do abortions.
Nor do I.
Now,
I stand with you on that.
Now, here's the thing. That doesn't mean you can stop them. You can't. That doesn't mean you agree with them. You don't. That doesn't mean you can go down with a sign and walk around Planned Parenthood and stop all this and do this and do that. You'll just end up in jail. I understand all those things. But that still doesn't mean we should support it. We should say, Nix 9 Frankenstein, I want nothing to do with this. My hands are clean. I'm not voting for political candidates that want to kill babies. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I don't care how pretty they are. I don't care how good of a speech they give. I don't care about all their junk. They're going to do this or going to do that. Oh my gosh. Everybody's going to do everything, and then they do nothing. But the bottom line is, we as Christians, we do not have to support it. Peter should have said, yeah, you know, I know him, and I think what you're doing to him is wrong, but what can I do about it? Not, I've never seen him before. I don't know him. You know, that's not the way to handle it. So on an issue like this, you know, we should be one-minded, one accord, and we should stand for righteousness. That doesn't mean they're all going to be righteous. That doesn't mean they're not going to have abortions. That doesn't mean Planned Parenthood is going to close tomorrow. But it does mean, as Christian people, those of us who call Jesus Lord,
and who live in a country where we still have the right to vote.
Yeah, that all I'm saying is we just can't support it. I can't support it. Maybe some of you guys can. Maybe some of you guys can vote for candidates that want to kill babies and go to church on Sunday morning like everything's great and act like you weren't even there. Not me. I can't put a tacit approval on this stuff. And you can't either, really. I mean, what are you going to tell Jesus? Well, oh, yeah, well, I voted for such and such. Yeah, and after I did that, they killed another 1 million babies. Oh, well. No, there's no oh, well. You know, we have to fight for Jesus, for righteousness, for godliness. We have to stand up for him and stand up for these babies. Because I just can't even imagine it. I don't know how these people can stand over an operating table all day long and do one abortion after another. What is wrong with these people? These people are demon possessed. There's no doubt about it. They're full of witchcraft. How could you possibly do that? I mean, how could you?
And then if we want to make matters a little bit worse, we think about that every 40 seconds in America, some little child is taken from its parents somehow, some way, and they are kidnapped. They are put into sex trafficking from 2 months and on. And many of them have been found in the last several months and weeks, and even as early as yesterday in Atlanta and in Ohio. But I'll tell you something. There is a war on our children like never
You're not
before.
kidding.
There is a war.
And
going
our
on.
good friend, I wasn't even going to bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up because, if somebody out there wants to know what they can do to help, be a part, this or that. We know people in Texas that you can help. Kathy LeBron,
Yes.
a great friend of ours, and she has a ministry
Sparrow's Hope.
It's called Sparrow's Hope, and she's in New York City, and she takes care and helps these young girls that are pregnant that feel like they don't have a way out.
No. This is sex trafficking.
Well, sex trafficking.
Yeah, but it's not about pregnancy. These are about girls who have been rescued from the sex trafficking and then getting them back on their feet, helping them to get the education they need, helping them to get a job, helping them to be able to re-assimilate as a person who has been traumatized, but into some kind of normalcy again. And maybe there have been a couple that are pregnant.
Cover me. Well,
I'm just saying.
I really look stupid on that.
No, I'm so sorry.
Sparrow's Hope. I thought it was about I thought it was like a Mercy Ministries kind of thing, but it's not.
No.
Yeah. Listen, we had a daughter, went to Mercy Ministries, unwed mom. What do I do? We hooked her up, got her to Mercy Ministries. She's in there for like 8 months. She has the baby. And that child today is an amazing child.
Oh my gosh.
Little Sierra Rose. She is the youngest 911 dispatcher in the city of Atlanta. She's going to be a police officer in about a year. She's only 19.
Just 20.
20.
Just turned 20.
See, I'm wrong again.
Just turned 20.
One good thing about being wrong, at least I'm wrong at the top of my voice.
You are,
and
really
Sharalee can just correct me like, no, that's not.
Well, here's the thing. I remember when I turned 20, I really wanted to be 20, so don't call her 19. She's really 20.
Anyway, here's the deal. We love y'all. We're not trying to get on people. We're not trying to be whatever. We're not trying to put people down for their decisions. We're just trying to ask people. See, I mean, if I was your pastor, I'd stand in front of the church and I'd tell you the exact same thing. And then you're going to have to deal with it. Well, I agree with the pastor or I don't. But I'm not your pastor. This ain't church. And this is all about Jesus. And I'm telling you, since I'm not running for governor, God as God said.
The grid.
Since I'm not running for office myself, if people don't like what I say about it, hey, I'm sorry, but let me tell you something. I will err on the side of grace every single time.
Amen.
Because if we can save one baby, if we can save 2 babies, it's a miracle. It really is. Anyway, yeah. This election's coming before we know it. It's going to be here soon.
And you just really need to think. You need to pray. You need to seek God and ask Him, what do you want me to do? Because the last thing you want to do, read the first chapter of Romans. If you want to see a really bad place to be in, when it says, and God gave them up.
Well, the thing about it is, you talk about the first chapter of Romans, there's a big section in there where Paul says, wait a minute, you people don't have any excuse.
No.
The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. The firmament showeth his handiwork. Paul said to the Romans, you've been watching God operate now for decades. You have no excuse.
Since creation.
You have no excuse. How can you say there is no God? You know what? This abortion thing is the same thing. We've been watching them kill babies in this country now for 50 or 60 years. We got no excuse anymore. We can't just sit by and say, oh, well, okay.
I would never want to be in the place of making a decision that I want to make, and I'm so hell-bent to make it, that it doesn't matter to me that God gives me up. And if you read that first chapter, there are 3 times that God gave them up. Gave up the people and let them do their own thing. Even though he
turned them over to a reprobate mind.
They know it's wrong.
Now, I had a serious talk with the Lord, and he said, tell Sharalee to stop interrupting you.
He didn't say that.
He didn't say that. I'm just teasing. Look, God's got a sense of humor. Look at me. All right. We love y'all.
We do love you.
Think about
so
what we said.
much.
This is the
Red couch.
Onward, Christian soldiers.